I've posted a YouTube video every single day for the past 50 days now. And today, I'm quitting. This is a really hard thing for me to do because I I have this belief that quitting is for losers, that giving up is the worst thing that you can do. But the truth is that in the past 2 months, I've learned a lot. I feel like I've grown from this little experiment. And I realized that I need to remind myself that this was an experiment. This wasn't some life saving thing that was going to turn my life around in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And it hasn't. And that's okay. What I wanted to do this for more than anything was to challenge myself, to be uncomfortable, to get in front of a camera and to learn how to share my thoughts and feelings directly to the world. It's fucking terrifying. Um, but the reason I am quitting is not because I'm not getting views, which is true. And it's not because I don't enjoy this. Because honestly, it's been pretty fun. But I realized that a lot of change is happening in my life right now, and it's about to happen really quickly. I'm about to start a job. I'm going to be traveling for the next 2 weeks. And there's a lot of priorities in my life that I really need to wrangle together. And if there's anything that I've learned about priorities, is that it's not just about picking what matters to you, it's about saying no to everything else. And this YouTube thing, I can't say it's been tremendously costly in terms of time or money or anything. This takes me about 10 minutes a day to record and another 10 minutes to upload. Like, it's very simple. No edits, just me talking to you. Very raw, very real. But it's another thing on my mind that I have to think about. And I have these other priorities. I have this new job. I feel like I've been lacking in terms of my physical fitness. That's something that was always a priority to me that I've been letting sort of slip by in the past couple months. Um, I've been developing a meditation practice. That's been important to me. Getting in touch with my spirituality, cultivating my attention, reading a lot more lately. And I've also been working on speaking in other ways, on content creation. I am making a pivot back to TikTok because I realize that there's too many variables in this YouTube thing right now. It's very hit or miss if a video does well, and it doesn't feel like I've been really gaining momentum in the way that I want to. And so that's why I'll be taking a break. I don't know how long. I anticipate that I'll probably be back in the future, maybe on this channel, maybe on another one. YouTube changed my life, when I was in middle school, high school. Even to this day, I occasionally watch a YouTube video that just like hits me and like genuinely impacts me and teaches me something new and inspires me to change something about my life, to think differently about something in the world. And so YouTube will always have like a special place in my heart, and I think it's somewhere that I do want to give back. But where I am in my life right now, I don't feel like I'm positioned to do that. In his book called The Dip, Seth Godin talks about the difference between a dip and a cul-de-sac. Most people give up in what's called the dip. That moment, the trenches where it feels like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and what you really need to do is stick to it and follow through to the end. But he contrasts that with the cul-de-sac. And he says that not enough people quit in a cul-de-sac and too many people quit in the dip. And the cul-de-sac is, you think of it as this little like roundabout, this circle where you're actually not getting very good feedback, you're not improving rapidly, and there aren't good prospects of you doing really well. He says that pretty good is the worst place to be in any pursuit, because you're not within striking distance of greatness. And to swim in the pretty good, just to stay there and not to fully commit yourself to something, is arguably worse than giving up on something that really matters, because you're wasting this energy. You're wasting your time and you're wasting your attention. You're splitting, you're opening a new tab in your mind basically to focus on this thing that you're not really focusing on and giving your all to. And this really helps reframe my idea of quitting, because quitting isn't just about giving things up. I found that the most successful people give up a lot of things. They try a lot of things. They expose themselves to failure. They let their egos be sort of tainted or threatened by the possibility of failure. But they're able to move past failure, and they're able to quit quickly and move on to the next thing. Michael Jordan tried to become a professional baseball player. Didn't pan out, went right back to the NBA and crushed it again. This book I've been reading is called Tiny Experiments by Anne-Laure Lecomte. It's French, I think. And she talks about the concept of tiny experiments. And the experimental mindset is something I learned from Tim Ferriss, actually, where you don't have to take life so seriously all the time. You don't have to just commit to one thing and stick to it and David Goggins it out until, some result comes. Because that just doesn't work for most people. Some people just aren't made for certain things. And I think one of the best ways to figure out what is right for you is to throw a bunch of darts on the board and see what sticks. Throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. See what resonates, what's fun, what immediately you start to get some momentum in, and stick with that. That's why I'm still in sales. Because even though I initially sucked at it, I went through this initial dip and I got really good at it really quickly. And I realized that I maybe have some talent or some edge in this that's maybe just related to my personality. And I know that I have the same potential in content creation. I know that there are things that I want to share with the world that I'm not yet capable of sharing in the right way. And that's why I'm here. I'm practicing. But YouTube in particular, right now, doesn't feel like the vehicle for that. I feel like my videos have been sloppy. I feel like I'm all over the place with my tangents and my ideas and my thoughts. I'm just letting it run wild. And so I'm taking a break. I'm taking a breather. It feels like I've been in a cul-de-sac running in a loop, not really going anywhere. And as I step away from YouTube for now, I will keep cultivating my skills. I will keep practicing my speaking, learning about content, understanding what resonates. And I won't actually be giving up. I won't actually be quitting in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to be working harder than ever to improve myself. And I think if you take anything away from this video, that's what it should be. It's that if you quit, don't quit with a capital Q. Quit this thing, move on to the next thing. Take the experimental mindset of not knowing what your thing is and trying a billion different things until some things sort of sift themselves out. Some things will just naturally appeal to you more. Some things you'll naturally excel at more. And this might take a lot of searching, and it certainly has for me, because I am not a naturally gifted person at anything. People think I'm good at math, which I am, but the reason I'm good at math was that I flunked out of pre-algebra in middle school. I had to take it twice. And then my parents sent me to a tutor for like 5 hours a week for a year to practice math. And only after that was I good at math. People think I'm good at sales. I am. But I also got 0 sales my first 2 weeks knocking doors. I knocked nearly 1,000 doors. I was unpaid for like 60 hours in the Dallas, Texas heat before I got my first sale. It was commission only. I almost gave up. I almost went home. But I ate shit to get my first sale, and I slowly improved over time, 1% every day. People think I'm athletic. One of my college professors, I took a kinesiology class, and we did a lab where we were doing vertical jump and sprint testing. And he used me as an example because I was an athlete on the track team, and I jumped high and I ran fast, and he was like, look at Kyle. He's an example of someone with really good genetics. And I wanted to tear his fucking skull out of his head because that was simply not true. I almost got kicked out of JV my freshman year of high school in track because I was so slow, because I couldn't even finish the freshman workouts. I clambered and crawled my way into a Division III program by lifting every single day for years, by showing up to every practice even when I didn't feel like it, by going to Saturday track meets in LA during high school every Saturday of my second semester, sophomore, junior, senior year. I gave up basically 50% of my social life to dedicate it to this sport that I was naturally dog shit at. And I ended up on a Division III team. Like, I'm still not considered talented by any means. But the point is that you can get better at things. And what determines your long-term success isn't just sticking to it. I think that's overly simplistic. Unless you're David Goggins and you're like genuinely masochistic and just love forcing yourself to stick to shit, it doesn't work for most people. Most people don't have that kind of discipline, willpower, and most people can't cultivate that discipline and willpower because it sucks. It sucks. And so I've found that the way that you can win in the long run, actually sustainably, and stick to something, because I've tried a lot of things, I've failed at a lot of things. The 2 ways that you can stick to it are, 1, you're naturally gifted at it, and therefore it's easy for you to stick with it because you get praise, you see progress, and it's satisfying because everyone likes being good at things. Or 2, you actually just really enjoy it, and some of your identity is involved in it. And it's something that you can see your future self doing and seeing yourself proud of yourself for improving at. That was track for me. I wasn't good at it. I didn't even improve particularly fast. But I really liked sprinting. I really liked running fast. It just felt good. It felt like it was me. I hate running. That's why I became a sprinter. I ran the 100-meter dash in college. I barely even ran the 200-meter dash. For like 5 years, I never ran longer than 400 meters, 1 lap on a track. People would always ask me to go on a mile run with them. I'd be like, are you fucking crazy? Absolutely not. Because I love sprinting. But that's not something I would have found out if I didn't just try it out. Give it a shot. Same thing with sales. I discovered that I was able to learn quickly after 2 weeks of eating shit and another 2 months of being mediocre. And after all the jobs I've done, I was an EMT during COVID. I worked at a Spirit Halloween. I interned at my mom's company doing like banking, like filing, finances, spreadsheets, like boring ass shit. I started a web design company. I started an Amazon FBA company with my friend after high school. I spent hundreds of hours and tens of thousands of dollars on copywriting courses and marketing courses, and I made tens of thousands of dollars, close to $100,000 in college, doing these things, but I wasn't particularly amazing at them, and I didn't particularly enjoy them, and so they didn't stick. Find things that stick. The only way to know is by trying. Spread your horizons. Broaden your possibilities, your idea of what's possible. Just try shit. Like, please, I'm begging you. I'm saying this to a past version of myself because I wish I just started earlier. If you look at professional athletes who are at the top of their field, see this in track athletes, football athletes in particular, they played dozens of sports when they were young. A lot of people assume that the best athletes just specialized, especially like track and field, right? They think that like Usain Bolt was just like a 100-meter sprinter since the day he was born, and he was just hyper specialized. And that's not true. Maybe that's true in chess or golf or like some very niche things. But in professional sports, oftentimes the greatest athletes were the ones who played the most sports when they were young, because they got like access and experience to all these different stimuli and experiences. And not only did they get this breadth of experience that helped them generate a general sense of athleticism and understanding of movement, they also got to try out and see what they liked, what resonated with them. They had the opportunity also to see what they naturally excelled at. Usain Bolt was originally going to be a 200, 400 meter runner. It was only because he hated running the 400 that he decided to go down to the 100 meter. And now he's the greatest of all time and has been for almost 20 years. Literally just because he felt like doing the 100. Now, obviously, not everyone's built different like him in that unique way, but we all have our strengths and our preferences, and the only way to find them is to give new things a shot. You have to experiment. And that's what this has been for me, this YouTube channel, and that's what I'll continue to do. And the reason I'm stepping away is not because I'm a failure, which I would have told myself in the past, but because there are other things calling to my attention right now. And that I hope that when I return to this, if I return to this, that I will be wiser and more prepared and more excited and more ready to take on this challenge of YouTube. That's not where I'm at right now, and that's okay. Because there's other things, and I'm excited for the future. So I'll probably leave my socials in the description this time, in case any of you are watching this and want to follow me on any of the other stuff I'm doing, or just reach out. I'd love to chat, hear about what you're up to, what you're excited about, what you're working on. But yeah, I was gonna say I appreciate you watching, especially if you stuck around this long. This is probably my longest video, if not up there, for sure. And I will not see you tomorrow. Okay. Peace.